Hey everyone, this is Charmaine from Fantastic Crafts. I hope all of you are having a wonderful Friday. Today we're going to be doing a very fun and fancy fold card. I love making these kind of cards because it's a little different, but it's still an A2 card, so it'll be able to fit in an A2 envelope and I'll be able to mail it without any problem. So here's a picture of a few of the materials I'll be using, but there will be more and it will be listed all on my blog post. So make sure to check that out. To begin, we're going to be cutting out a 4 1/8 by 9 5/8 piece of cardstock, and then we're going to score that at 4 1/4. We will also need a back piece of a cardstock that's going to measure at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We will also cut a strip of cardstock that's going to measure 1 1/4 by 4 inches and then score at 3 inches. Then we will need a piece of cardstock that's going to be 4 by 4 1/8 and then one that is 3 7/8 by 4. I am going to be using the Sassy birthday stamp set by Maymay and also this Distress Oxide ink in brick color, fired brick, I believe. So you can start off with a designer paper for this part, but I wanted to create my own designer paper. So I took that Sassy birthday stamp set and put a few of those stamp images onto my stamp block and then just created my own designer paper. And I love doing this all the time because it gives me a more personalized designer paper exactly how I want it and exactly how I need it for that specific card. Now, of course, I had to use that Nuvo black gel pen and make stitches around that, just because I always feel like that gives it a more finished look. Now, you can ink the edges of this, but I decided to go with the stitch and not ink it. So then I just glued that onto my border piece, and I'm just kind of doing a dry run right now just to see how everything will work. The first part that I actually glued on is that little strip. This is what makes this fancy fold card a fancy fold card. This is what opens up what's going to be a coffee cup or a coffee tumbler. So once I glued that on, that back piece is simply to hide that mechanism, that strip. So, and it creates a really nice thin 1/8 of an inch border around the card. So I just glued that onto the back. Then I glued that designer paper into that border piece. So actually what I first did, and you don't have to do it this way, but I actually put that back piece or that border piece onto my card, and then I put the designer piece onto that background. And you don't have to do it that way particularly. You could just have it done put the designer paper onto the 1/8 of an inch background and then put it onto your panel, but this is just how I did it. There's many ways to do this. Then I took I realized I wanted to have that coffee mug or coffee tumbler on that front of the card. So I took this Cuppa stamp set from Maymay and I put little coffee beans all over in between to fill that space, empty blank space in between the candles. And I figured candles, cake, coffee, they all go together. So that's why I decided to use this too. And because this is a little bit of a sassy kind of a card, I went with a little winky face from the Cuppa stamp set, and I put that winky face in between my my designer paper just to fill in a little extra of the gaps. I also stamped and cut out two of those, the coffee tumbler from the Cuppa set, and I glued one onto the front of that strip, and then I also put the second one on the back part of that strip, just so it adds more body to it and also just kind of looks clean on both sides. So I stamped a sentiment from the Sassy birthday card, and this is a really nice stamp set because it has an A and a B. So I stamped the A part on the front and then the B part on the back, and it's this funny, playful little stamp set, and I really love it. Now the next few parts are completely optional. I just wanted to go in with my crystal Nuvo drops, and I wanted to put a few dots here and there. first I did it onto the little dots of the stamp set, and then I went around in between my designer paper and did a few more on that. Then I took this other stamp set, or sorry, the Nuvo drop, and I put 3 dots that's going around everywhere right now. Everyone is using 3 dots everywhere, and I put it in like the corners of that sentiment. And then I also took it, because it's this orange kind of glittery Nuvo drop or glitter drop, I put it onto the candles to kind of look like the candles are sparkling or on fire. So I really like that, and I love playing with these little Nuvo drops because they're so fun. So of course I had to add it to the top lid of that coffee tumbler because I felt like it just needed that little bit of coffee color. So, and then I felt like the antique rose gave that look, and then that's it. And I know I don't open this card up, but you're gonna have to trust me, it's beautiful. I don't know why I didn't, maybe because the Nuvo drops were just not dry yet, so I didn't want to open it. But it is a beautiful card, it is very fun to create, and I hope you guys give it a try. And all measurements and all supplies will be listed on the blog post, and I will list that blog post on my description box below. So please like this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time guys, bye.